Happy spring, everybody. This is the Wild Ass Podcast, and I am your host, Wild Ass Craig. This is episode 30, and for this episode, we're doing the second installment of the MonstercASSt, where we'll run down the last few months, and we're going to talk about the 4 months ahead. The first Monday of each quarter, I'm hoping to use the Wild Ass Podcast to keep all of you up to date, not only on what the Mile Monsters have been up to, but what they have coming in the next few months. In the previous MonstercASSt, we got the history of the Mile Monsters, Inc. and a plan for the first quarter of 2023. In this episode, I'm sitting down with Riot again, and we're just going to get this thing underway. Riot, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. I love this kind of thing and getting the message out to people.
Yeah, it's always fun. And it's always fun getting to talk to you. So guaranteed we're not going to laugh at all this time.
Yeah, life is good.
Oh, well, screwed that up. So you know the deal. We're just basically running down. This is just a short little podcast going to come out the first Monday of every quarter. We're just going to run down what happened up until this point in the previous quarter, which is just January, February, and March. So January, you got the calendar in front of you. I have the calendar in front of me. What kind of stands out that was something cool from the month?
Well, January was a lot of cool stuff because we kicked off our Monster Miles, which is a program that the Mile Monsters have to recognize riders and the cool, epic things they do to promote, the kids. So we came up with some Monster Miles. If you go to our website, you'll be able to check that out and see what they are. But we're just recognizing people who make a donation to the cause, and then we give them an award. And it just it's really for fun, but really to recognize the riders for their efforts of putting long miles in, raising awareness for our boys, and, donating their time and their money. So just a way to recognize them. So that was really the kickoff of the year, and it's something new to us and new to doing it. But now we're a few months in and we're getting the hang of it. So it's actually pretty cool to do and to send out the certificates, the awards, whatever you want to call them. That's been pretty amazing so far.
That's cool. So how, you say we're getting the hang of it. It's been quite a learning curve. You getting everything under control a little better. It's always chaotic when you start.
Yes. Thankfully, we started this in the wintertime, so there weren't a lot of people doing the rides, and it gave me a chance to kind of get the hang of it, because what we're doing with the awards is kind of writing a little personal story about their ride, about their event, whatever the case is. So we're having people turn in some pictures that they met the requirements, and then just a story of what they did that day and how it helped us, promote what we do. So we put that together, and I type it up, and I'm using Adobe Illustrator. So that's a little different for me. I've never used that. So it's just a learning curve, and it's just fun. So, people, are digging it. It's nice. It's just it's really like a personalized thank you note we're sending to the riders. It's kind of basically what it is.
That's cool. Are you going to be posting the stories anywhere? Are you going to do anything on the Mile Monsters website, putting them on social media?
That's what we were just talking. Yeah, we were just talking about that, and I want to have. I'm actually going to start a separate Facebook group for that. So I think that's what we're going to have kicked off when this airs here. We'll have it up and rolling. So it's a place where people can share their certificates and share their stories. We're going to put the rider of the month on our website and have a few of their rides highlighted, so people kind of get an idea of what that's about.
Cool. Once people start seeing that, it'll really take off too. So got the certificates in January. It was Goats Ride. Explain that. How did that go? How was it participated?
It was really cool. That was the first one. It's our Monster Monthly Ride, and that was all about the goat. So that one we had set up, and like I said, everything's a learning curve. So that was our first one. So you had to do 1,000 miles and 1,013 miles. All of our rides end in the boys' hero numbers. So that ride was 1,013 miles in under 24 hours, and you had to find 3 goat-related items along your ride, and they had to be separated by 100 miles apiece. So anything goat. And it was a lot of fun. I actually did mine in Texas, and we had a great time with it. I found some goats, a bar that was a goat statue, a doctor that used goat parts in people years and years ago. So I thought that was kind of entertaining.
That's weird.
But they, yeah, it was really weird. But he made a ton of money. He's got a really nice place down in Del Rio, Texas, and I just happened to come upon it. So it was pretty cool. But that's what the rides are about, is just kind of focusing on the kids. It's something to do with them. And the Goats Ride kicked it off. We didn't have a lot of people do it because it was January and it was something new. So it's growing every month. But we had enough to do it that we kind of get in the hang of doing the awards.
It's a bummer that it's in January. Like here, it's still, I don't know if you know this, in Minnesota, we just got another 5 or 6 inches of snow here the other night, and it's heavy and wet and piled up everywhere now.
Yeah, and that's crazy. But what we are going to do moving forward, there is going to be a month that we have bonus rides for people in the north who may have missed one of the monthly rides, a chance to get back and do that ride. So the people interested in that will have to pay attention to what we put out on social media and on our website when these bonus times will be. Cool.
Looking at January, you also did Monster Day. Tell us how that went.
Monster Day was a spectacular event. It was down in Texas at Gavin's house, or Gavin's elementary school, excuse me. What we did was we brought 10 riders into the school. We brought 8 motorcycles inside the gymnasium. And what we did was a program about how to treat kids that just not quite the same as all the other kids. And last year we did the same event there, and we talked about, kids struggling to do some events. Well, this year we actually brought wheelchairs in and showed kids the difference of being in a wheelchair compared to just normal life outside of a wheelchair. And then we had a little obstacle course and showed kids how they can help a child, that's in a chair get through his day. Simple things like just moving out of the way, helping them with doors, things like that. We did demonstration and of the kids doing it with nobody helping them, and then with some monsters helping them and some other kids helping them, so they could kind of see how big of a difference it actually makes. But it was a great event. The school down there at Pasco Elementary, they're just very open to us. The principal, Miss Miller, is incredible. They really enjoy us coming in. We get a lot out of it. They get a lot out of it. It's a win-win. And there's a bunch of kids. The whole community is being educated on what they can do to help Gavin live his best life. And that's really our end game.
That's awesome. And it's cool to hear that they're open to doing it. But what's really cool is you putting the other kids in the wheelchairs so they can experience what these kids potentially are going to go through. Or any kid, not just a Duchenne's kid, any kid.
Correct. And there are some other kids who came forward to thank us too, because they have some issues and it helps them as well. So, we were there for Gavin, but our message is much broader than just Gavin. So it was a very well planned, well to do thing. I can't thank all the monsters that were there enough for doing that, taking their time, spending their money to get there. And, doing a program that just affects so many kids. And that program is on our website. So you can look back at the videos on that. And our YouTube channel has all of that. We have 3 programs up that we have done at different schools on our YouTube channel.
Mile Monsters Inc. Find it on YouTube, milemonstersinc.com. You'll find it on the website, right? Those are the locations. We'll throw those out there
Correct.
A couple times.
Yep.
That brings us to February. What you got there?
February was about turbo. So our Monster Miles kicked off with a turbo run, and it really became kind of an epic event, the people who did it. So it was just amazing to see. Now it was kind of getting legs. And for Turbo's event, what you had to do was find a Porsche 911 because that's his favorite car. Something to do with Hot Wheels because he is a huge Hot Wheel collector, and you had to find something with a turbo in it. And it was meant to be something fun, show some things that Turbo likes, but it really turned into some people out west doing some epic things, riding for thousands of miles to actually meet Turbo. So that was beyond what I could put into words. The thrill of seeing monsters traveling thousands of miles to meet up with Turbo, take him to a Porsche dealership. And Frank up in Washington went down and fought a storm going back, Frankie Mountains. And it was crazy, though. And then Wrong Way went out there and did the same thing and spent a lot of time with him. and really, really improves the quality of life for turbo. It's just amazing. So he was struggling on some days with some medical issues, and they were days that there were riders out doing his turbo run. So he really got a kick out of it, motivated riders, motivated him, and it really kind of showed how important the things we do are to these boys.
That's awesome. Yeah, I saw that on Facebook, and I was like, wait a minute, that's really cool. And he got to go, didn't Turbo get to ride in the car somewhere? Didn't he? Wasn't he at a track day or something?
Yeah, they had a track day. That was something separate. I think that was in January. He did a track day, and Robert brought him out to a track, and they had him in a car there. And on his turbo day, they had him in a Porsche there, and they took him for a ride there. So it was really, really cool. And he just digs those cars. He's a car guru. He's forgotten more about cars than I've ever known. So it's amazing to talk to him. He's a kid, but he's very, very knowledgeable on cars. That's for sure.
Yep, that's for sure. So that looks like, other than that, it was Monster Miles rides. Kind of a short month.
Yeah, and February is pretty quiet and pretty tame. That is a month that I try to gear up for the upcoming craziness, get my things in order. So that's what I did, and I'm still way behind, but we took a lot of time to do a lot of things there, ordering a lot of our promotional items, stuff like that.
Well, that gets us right into March. March, the calendar looks like it has something on half of the days.
Yeah, March is clearly the kickoff to. Some people call it, the riding season, the bike season, whatever you want to say. I call it, it's rally season, kicks off with bike week. But March just really, it starts to roll how things are going to be for the summer. So it was pretty cool. And of course, with March, we have St. Patrick's Day. So we had to have Elfie's ride in March. So that is a great ride as well. I had to do 3 things for Elfie. You had to find an Irish pub, something to do with boxing, and something to do with 80s rock music. Those are 3 things that, as an Irish kid, they even at that age, they go to a pub. That's their sunscreen. So they spent a lot of time at fundraising events, and it was a lot of fun to do that ride for him. I actually did my ride for Elfie on my way to Daytona. So I went into New York City and started at an Irish bar that is owned by people from his hometown. So I thought that was pretty cool.
How did you find that? How did you find that?
I met Elfie at that bar when he was in town, and I met the owner, Donna. So it's just a small world that they have. They have 2 bars in New York City, John Doe and Jane Doe. And they're great little Irish bars. If you're in New York City, they're really fun bars to go to. So I thought it'd be fun to start there. So I left my house and I went to New York City. I rode my bike right up on the sidewalk in front of the bar, got some great pictures. Then I went to the steps in Philadelphia where Rocky was filmed, where he ran up the steps because Elfie ran up those steps. So I thought that was pretty cool. Again, I pulled my bike right up on the sidewalk, got some pictures. Elfie teased me for not doing a video running up the steps. But I didn't do that because I was highly illegally parked. My motorcycle was all loaded down for Daytona, and I didn't want to leave it unattended while I was out horsing around and have something disappear off of it. Something I really need, like my helmet or craziness like that. But yeah, then I stopped and I got some pictures of some 80s stuff, and it was great. But there's been a ton of riders doing Elfie's ride. It's gaining momentum now as the warmer weather comes out. So it's really, really fun. I just sent a bunch of certificates out yesterday to riders who have been completing that for the month of March. So that's great. Great to see people doing it. A lot of fun.
We should wish Twister a happy birthday. I see her birthday was in March also.
Yes. And we went down to Daytona to celebrate with her a little bit. And, I was there on her birthday. So we got to go out to dinner with you on her birthday. So that was awesome to get down there. And bike week was, fun and packed and crowded. It's not really my jam to do all the bike week stuff, but I do like Destination Daytona. I feel like I can get everything I need done right there. If I want to buy things or I want to see things or kind of experience what it's like to be at a rally, I feel like that's a one-stop shopping and I can get her done and then leave.
Yeah, it's a cool place, and it was great to see you there. It was
a lot of fun. I had fun hanging out at your tent. I'm not a very good salesman because I get sidetracked. I wander around and do things. But I did talk to a few. I did talk to a few people, and the people I knew, I sold them on a cushion, so they got set up nicely there. And I appreciate you guys taking care of everybody and getting them set up so they could make their long rides home much more comfortable.
It is our pleasure. I can speak for everybody when I say that. So, yeah, March was a busy month.
Yeah, crazy month.
And then, like you say, as the snow begins to thaw in the north, everybody starts to move around. Now we just need the snow to go away.
Yeah, the other thing we had in March that was really an epic thing was we got Drew a temporary van. That came about very fast, and as most people know, we're doing this Monster 100 to buy Drew a new van.
Yep.
We're raising money to get him a handicap van. We call them hero haulers. And in the meantime, they did not have a way to get him around. So he became a prisoner of his own home. And as you can imagine, that's not the greatest place to be, both physically and mentally, to be trapped in your house. Regardless of how nice it is, everybody needs to get out. So we came across a van. We had some help from a monster, Scott, who saw one for sale in Pennsylvania. We were able to secure that van. We got it to the family. They cleaned it all up. It was the guy who buys them just buys them at auctions. They don't spend a nickel in getting them prepped or anything. So it was really dirty and needed a little bit of work, but it's going to be a nice Band-Aid over a major problem until we get this new van secured this summer. So I was happy about that. To all the riders raising money for the Monster 100, we've already made a difference in somebody's life, and we're still 6 weeks away from the ride actually starting. So that's pretty impressive.
That is. Let's see. Yeah, Bike Week, we had you down there. You got to take yourself a little vacation.
Yes, I took a little vacation after that to Punta Cana. That was awesome. I went down there, took my son and his roommates to a little all-inclusive place, and I had a good time. I got sunburned and peeled and had to come home and ride my motorcycle from Florida back home where I needed long underwear on, and I was extremely sunburned, so that was a real joy.
I don't feel bad for you at all.
I don't feel bad for myself either. It just was funny. I was laughing as I'm rolling through it, light snow. I'm peeling so bad. It's amazing. My legs are all sunburned. And I thought, what a difference a couple days can make. I was very happy to be doing it. I love to get back on the bike. It's been a while since I could ride. Just feels so good to get out and pound some serious miles again.
Yeah, for sure. First quarter, we had Mummy's walk.
Yep.
Alfie's mom did the walk. She made it in 50. She made her goal. It says on here 50 miles in 24 hours. Her goal was 16 hours, and she made it.
Yeah, that was absolutely epic. I was letting you lead into that, but of course you go right into Colleen's big accomplishment instead of your own. So I'll pat you on the back for you. That Team Wild Ass put together 4 walkers to do a walk on the same day as Alfie's mom's walk. And that was a walk she had planned to do 50 miles, which is 79 kilometers, because that is the most common deletion in DMD. And so 79 kilometers, 50 miles. She wanted to do it in 15 hours or 16 hours and 53 minutes, whatever it is. They all had numbers to do with Elfie. And then your team joins in on that and does such an epic job of walking 50 miles in Minnesota. I'm from Minnesota. I'm very familiar with the terrain, the climate, and everything else. So to watch 4 people start at 4 in the morning in freezing temperatures, walk on rough roads that are not thawed, not nice. They're not cleaned off summer paths you'd walk in California. These are fairly rough roads to be walking on, losing your balance for 50 miles. So it was amazing. It was a day I was traveling, so I felt bad that I was on a plane and on my bike and doing that, but I did get settled in time to watch the finish. And it was just an epic event that the Mile Monsters are so proud to have anybody associated with us to do something like that. Is next level cool.
Thank you. It was very cool, and I got to give kudos to all 3 of the girls that did it. Yeah, like you said, the roads. I'm an idiot for planning it that weekend. That's all I can say. I wanted to do it the same weekend as Colleen, but it's middle of March, so I thought everything should be okay. Typically we get back from Daytona and it's okay. And the route that I planned, it then dawned on me after I committed to doing this that the route I planned was mainly snowmobile trail, And if you know the snow, they pack the snow all winter long, so it's the last snow to melt. Snowmobile trails are through the woods, so they're generally shaded, which then makes it the last of the last snow to melt. And I thought, that's not cool. So then we decided we're going to, stick to the roads. That's going to be a little safer for walking. And then Mother Nature decided 2 days before to throw another foot of snow at us, or within the 10 days threw like 15 inches of snow at us. And it was actually within just a few days because there was still snow everywhere. And the roads were, like you said, they were rough, but ice was the main concern. So it slowed us up quite a bit. And then she decided also, you know what, let's make it really cold for you too. So I mean, no matter what Mother Nature was throwing at us, we got it done, and those 4 girls they were troopers, or 3 girls, I should say. They were troopers. I couldn't believe it. Excuse me. Everybody finished. We made sure we all finished together. Kind of at the end, if you were watching that, I was hollering like, come on, we got to go. Literally, the line on my phone battery was gone. So I wanted to screenshot that picture that I posted before the battery died. I wanted 50 miles before the battery died, and I got the screenshot and then put it in my pocket. And when we got back to the vehicle, I pulled my phone out next. The phone was dead. So it was crazy. We all made it. We all made it on video. We had it tracked. It was a lot of fun. It really was a lot of fun. That night, everybody said, there's no way in hell we're doing it again. Now we're all just determining the conditions of which time we'll do it next.
Yeah, it's great. It is really quite the accomplishment.
Yep. Thank you. So that rounds out the first quarter. Any standouts? Any super riders? Who's leading? Who's got the most miles? Are you keeping track of that stuff or not so much?
Yeah, I am keeping track of that, but I didn't even pull that up. So that's a good thing to know for the next one. I'll have a better handle on it. But there's some riders out there doing great. Frankie Mountains has got a lot of points from his rides. Wrong Way has a lot of points. Let's see. James Mooney has a lot of points. So there's some riders out there that are really, really getting after it.
That's cool.
Yeah, really cool.
Any other recap stuff from the first quarter? I think that's all of it.
I think that's it. We had a great quarter, great kickoff to it. I'm already working on some things for next year. So it's been a great quarter.
Cool. That leads us into April, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So what do you got coming up this month?
April, we have Drew's ride that is going on right now as this airs. So that is 1,011 miles, and you have to have 3 things Drew related. So if you go to our website and look at Monster Miles and look at the monthly ride, you can see what that is and go out and attempt to get that for yourself. And we will send you a really cool award / thank you note. So that's kind of fun.
And why is he not announcing it here? Because we're recording this before the quarter and he won't even tell me.
Yeah, on the 1st, it gets posted what it is, and nobody gets a head start to start routing, planning, anything, and you have 1 month to get that ride in and try to figure it out. So really, I'm the only one with a head start because I'm the one who plans it. So, I have definite advantages. So that's all fun. But I'm ineligible for any of the prizes at the end of the year, so that doesn't matter much for me anyhow.
So then, Mile Monsters, it's the Drew's month. We got Arizona Bike Week coming up. Are you going to make it out there?
I am not.
Okay.
I am not going to make it because of some other trips I have with my daughter.
Actually, as I say that, looking at the calendar, this will air after Arizona Bike Week. So that's why we do these 4 months in advance.
Yep. I'll have just missed it. I'll have just gotten home from a trip to Denver.
Yep. Oh, you do have a taco run bonus for the 19th. Other than that,
yes, we do.
No monster
we have a
events,
taco
right?
run, and we're going to have a ride for that, just to have some fun and have people raise some awareness for us on their way to the taco run. So we're going to have I'll give a little hint on that. It's going to be a taco sauce theme for the rides for our awards to anybody that goes out there. So the taco sauce will be mild, medium, hot, and inferno. So you can kind of gauge that on what you're going to need to do to get to the taco run. And the taco run is an event of Hoka riders, but it's open to anybody that wants to go check out Medicine Park. It's a great weekend to do it. It's a lot of fun. A lot of great riders will be there. Even if you're not huge into long distance riding, it's still a great time to visit with people, hang out, have a few beers, eat some tacos, go on nice, cool rides. A lot of fun.
That's cool. I'm looking forward to that. I've been, you guys have all been trying to get me to come for years. Renee and I are going to be there this year. We will not be doing 1,013 miles on the way there. However, on the way home, I think that's about what it's at. So Renee, just mute out that part of the podcast. It's going to be a long haul home.
Well, she can ride with me because I'm going to do 1,500 and change to get there and to get home.
We're going to leave Sunday morning and try to be home Sunday night. So the old Harley's going to have to stretch its legs a little bit that weekend.
Yeah, that'll be a good ride.
Yep, that'll be fun.
A lot of fun.
May, we got just kind of a small event starting on the 4th. Before we talk about that, it kind of goes in conjunction with it, but I want you to talk about the Give Butter program that you're using as the fundraiser for this small 100-day event. So kind of tie all that together, but yeah, let's talk about that.
Give Butter is a platform for nonprofits to use to fundraise. They have a great way of doing it because they do not charge us as a nonprofit any money to use their platform. And what it allows us to do, the benefit to us using it and why we're trying to switch that instead of having it just on Facebook is, one, I can reach everyone who is on Facebook, not on Facebook. It just takes a little more sharing to our platforms, but it's much easier for us to use. And when you have multiple people raising money for the same event, you can give each person their own fundraising within said event. So that's kind of really cool. So like this Monster 100, we're going to have all kinds of riders who have their own fundraising going on, but you look at it, it'll be one grand total. And that is a huge benefit to us. We get to track it much easier. And the other benefit is if we need to take money out of that for any reason, any expenses we have to cover, you can just transfer the money right out. When we used theirs for fundraising, what would happen is you'd start a fundraiser and you would end the fundraiser, and they would only let it go 3 months. So if you had an event that was going to take the whole summer, you had to try to figure out how to do that. And it was just a pain. And then after it was done, then they process it and pay you the lump sum all at one time. And it's nice because it's Facebook and we reach a lot of people, but it's a pain because of how they do it and compared to Give Butter. So the Give Butter is just a much easier program for us to use, much easier for people to use. You can get reports, you can get donation receipts. Everything is done really easy, really systematically taken care of, and it's just a lot easier on everybody.
That's cool. And looking at when people post it, when you click in there, you can see who's done how much. Do you have a competition going for that?
Yep. And that's what we have. And leading into that Monster 100, we're going to have prizes for who raises the most. We have a bunch of prizes, which I can announce right here, because we have events for the riders or prizes for the riders. And we're going to have prizes for who raises the most, who does the most miles, what team raises the most money, what team has the most miles. So we're going to have some fun things like that going on amongst the riders. So our Monster 100 program, which kicks off May 4th, is 100 days. And during those 100 days, every day has 2 riders doing 1,000 miles each. So our goal is for every day to raise $2,000. That is our goal. Every rider is raising $1,000 a day for his day of riding or her day of riding. So it's going to be a great, epic event. We have a lot of really cool things planned for the end of the road party, which is going to take place in Sturgis on the 11th of August. So it's just 100 days of following really epic riders, doing really epic things, raising awareness for these boys, and in the end, to get Drew's family a brand new van.
So cool. So cool.
Yeah, it really is. It really is a cool thing to be doing and to be a part of, and to see the riders all excited about it, raising money already is just really epic.
Also in May, we have, and if you have the calendar, it tells you who was the original 100, right? It tells you who signed up, what day is theirs. They're all in the calendar. These calendars are still available, right?
Yeah, we still have the calendars on our website at milemonstersinc.com. Hit me up anyway. We can mail you one out. But on the calendar, these calendars came out, we were able to get the first 100 riders actually on the calendar. So there's going to be a couple changes in there. Some people had some conflicts, but for the most part, that's who's riding that day. And then underneath it is a slot to write in the other rider if you want to keep track of who's riding when, if you have a friend riding or whatever the case may be.
Very cool. That's May. We got Mother's Day in May on the 14th. Ken's birthday.
Go home. Ken's birthday is on the 20th. So, yeah, that'll pretty much wrap up May.
Yeah, that sends us into Americade in Lake George, New York. Great event if anybody's coming there. We have more Monster stuff, Monster Miles certificates.
Yeah, in June will be another, our monthly, every month on the 1st is going to have our monthly ride on top of the 12 other rides we have. But all of our rides are geared around raising awareness for the kids. You know, they're doing an M. They're doing a hero ride, a superhero, an ultimate hero. It's all about our heroes. So that's really what it is. It's just spreading awareness. So every month is going to have a chosen monthly ride to do.
Sure. That all makes sense. In June, what do we got? Looks like Laconia Bike Week. Then there's Father's Day is in June.
Yep. And we have the Hokahay Rendezvous is out at Eagles Nest, New Mexico. That's an event for Hokahay riders. So there'll be a ton of people going out to that. Anybody who is a past rider, present rider, or future rider, whatever the case is. It's another event that's just a lot of fun. A lot of awesome riders show up and hang out. I have not been to one because I'm always so busy. But this year my schedule's a little more cleaned up, so I'm gonna head out there myself. So I'm looking forward to that.
Cool. That's an event for only Hokahay riders.
I believe so.
It is. Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah,
that's one of the perks when you sign up, is they say if you're accepted that you can now attend Hokahay events, and this is considered one. So pretty cool. We also hit the halfway point of the Monster 100 just before going into July.
Right. So that'll be an exciting time at day 50 of the Monster 100. So that's going to be pretty epic to make it to that halfway point.
Yep. Then in July, that's kind of our bonus month for this podcast, just because we won't have another one come out until the 3rd. So that'll be another monthly ride, and I see Gavin's Texas tour coming up in July. Tell us about that.
Gavin's Texas tour is actually evolved into something like we've never done before. This will be our first time that Monsters do a ride and a hero rides along with them. So we're really excited about that. Gavin wanted to see the Harley dealerships in Texas. So we put together an idea to ride to each and every Harley dealership in the state of Texas. There are 34 dealerships in Texas, and Hopper and myself plan to ride to each one with Gavin. So in theory, that was really easy and no problem, but let's go for a ride. Until we start putting the logistics together of that. The dealerships are not open on Mondays. A lot of them are not open on Sundays and Mondays in Texas. Sundays mainly, they're not open. But anyhow, there's a lot to planning it, a lot to getting a bike set up for Gavin to be able to ride on it, stay on it, hang on, sleep, all the things you need to do as a passenger on a motorcycle. So we're working on all of the logistics of it. And then we had the idea that this is such an epic event. I wanted to find a way to kind of capture it. So I thought about using GoPros and using my phone, just taking pictures and turning a GoPro on when we stopped to kind of capture the moment. I thought that's just not going to be enough. So I wanted to bring a film crew with us or someone to film it, but I wanted them to be part of it, not be kind of like an oddball thing we're having, So it was kind of difficult. I knew what I wanted in my mind, but I didn't know how to go about getting it. So I just started reaching out to some friends, and I had a plan to hit up 5 people about across the country. And the very first person I talked to about it was D Woods from the V-Twin Life. And he instantly hooked me up with Jason Setzer in Texas. And he is somebody who is really into that. I told him what I wanted, and Jason's like, oh, that's awesome. That's what I like to do. He likes to capture pictures and video when, people aren't stand here, take a picture and pose all nice. I'm more interested in having the moments captured, film it. And then what we plan to do is at the end of our ride, we plan to bring that to an editor and have it turn into a documentary.
That's cool. And Setzer is also, he's a YouTuber. So he's kind of got all that stuff lined up for you. I mean, without even doing it on purpose, he's God, that's perfect. I was going to say, find a YouTuber. You did.
Yeah, and he is very good at what he does. He has his son Chase is going to be joining us. Maybe not for the whole thing, but he's going to ride ahead, and as we come in dealerships, be able to get some drone footage. And I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited that Jason is willing to do this, and that he is such a well-liked guy who is a motorcycle enthusiast. He likes to do what we do. He's into it for the same reasons I am. He wants to capture the moments like that. So it was a home run. I still can't believe I stumbled into somebody so perfect so fast.
That's awesome. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's really cool. So this will really be epic, and we're hoping to have this wrapped up, and we want to have it edited down and turned into something by the end of the year. So we thought this would be a great keepsake and a great memory for everybody involved and other kids to see, just to give everybody some hope that you can still do some really epic things regardless of your situation.
Yep, that's awesome. That rounds it up. We can cover the rest in our next episode of the MonstercASSt, which will come out on July 3rd. So I think that wraps up everything we needed to talk about, unless you got something.
No, I don't have anything. I'm doing good. I'm excited. I'm so happy to see so many people joining our cause and so many people helping us out with what we do. It's really, really exciting. I'm really looking forward to what 2023 has to offer, and I just can't wait. Every year it grows a little bit. I just can't imagine what the year 2030 is going to be like.
That's going to be awesome, for sure. Do you have any requests from the audience or any final words?
The only request I have is to share what we do. We're constantly getting hit with somebody doing something really cool because they happen to see it, because a friend of a friend shared something, a friend of a friend handed them one of our bracelets, a friend of their cousin's neighbor posted something. So if you could share our things, talk about them, let people know what we do. We are there to help these heroes live their best life. It's pretty simple. We don't have a great big master plan. We roll with things as they come up. And if a kid wants something, we do everything we can possibly do to make it happen.
Perfect. Now share where we can follow you.
Everything is Mile Monsters Inc. You'll find us at milemonstersinc.com, our YouTube, Mile Monsters Inc., Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Everything is Mile Monsters Inc. If you search that, you should find us no problem. And if you go to our website, there's links to most things on there. So milemonstersinc.com will get you where you need to be. And if you have any other questions, hit me up and I'll be happy to help you.
Also, in the show notes, I will post all of the links to everything you mentioned. Make sure that if you're driving, just remember Mile Monsters Inc. If you're riding, remember Mile Monsters Inc. If you're at your phone or your computer, you'll be able to scroll through the show notes and I'll have that information in there. If you are looking for more information on the Mile Monsters, check out milemonstersinc.com. If you have any questions in regards to the Mile Monsters, you can email Riot at milemonstersinc.com. This MonstercASSt has been another episode of the Wild Ass PodcASSt. Folks, if you like what you're hearing, hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. You can follow the adventures on Facebook or Instagram by looking for The Real Wild Ass. Of course, I am Wild Ass Craig. Thank you all for listening. We'll see you again in a couple weeks. And of course, thank you again, Riot, for coming on.
Awesome. And thank you for having me. And thank you for all you do to help us with our cause. It's greatly appreciated.
It's my pleasure. Talk to you soon.
Take care.